time for Lifestyle, of course, brought to you by the world's #1 tea brand, Lipton Tea. If you haven't had your mug of Lipton this morning, make sure you get yourself a mug to get you going. Of course, it's inspiration flowing from nature. And if you like my outfit this morning, as Benny was telling me a lot of people do, you can go down to Fashion Trends in Tema Community 4 and get yourself some amazing stuff. I've been told to tell you they also have menswear. Anywho, we're going to be discussing adjustments in life. A lot of times life can throw you a curveball. Things can be going extremely well, and all of a sudden you can be hit by a financial, okay, right now I guess Ghana going through financial crisis, that's one of them. Also, some people can lose loved ones, you can get into depression, all sorts. So we're going to be discussing how best each and every single one of us can try and remain positive no matter what's going on in our lives. And to join Sandra and I to have this discussion, we have Joseph Nana, who's a director consult from the Human Development Group, which is the HUD group, and he joins us right now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, looking at, I guess right now, let's look at it on a wider scale. The last, say, more than a few months, a lot of people are complaining. Financially, it's been pretty difficult for a lot of people. So where maybe you had a plan last year, like, okay, I'm going to maybe put this amount of money into my education or into my house, and all of a sudden, due to changes where most people are experiencing, electricity has gone up, this has gone up, and boom, you're not able to achieve. In a situation like that, how does one best keep their head, on their head, keep your head on their shoulders, on your necks.
Okay, I think the first thing is that don't kill yourself when the problem happens. When things just happen, don't kill yourself.
Do you mean that literally?
Yeah, literally. I mean, some will just go jump. Okay, I have 10,000. I'm going to put it into my child's education. Then suddenly the dollar goes boom, and then I can't educate my child. That means he can't go to school. That means he can't look after me. Hopelessness. And that's usually what happens at the first instance, that can I continue? Can I make it? When the change occurs, that's usually the first thing. Oh my God, something has happened. Is life possible again? So don't kill yourself. That's the first thing you should know. Once you can settle that in your mind that, okay, hold, let me leave, then there's hope. Then we can start looking at the possibilities as to what are the options and what you can do, etc., etc. So what we usually say is, first, don't die.
Don't die.
Don't die.
So once you're alive, but you're still going through the issues, how do you then deal with it? Because a lot of people feel pushed. Remember a few months ago, the teacher who hanged himself, on
the lecture from Adisado, I believe.
Yeah. So in a situation like that, yes, you're not going to go to that extreme. Most people will never go to that extreme, but they still have to deal with the issue. So how best do you even conceive that within your own self?
Okay, when you come to the point where you realize that, okay, I don't have to destroy myself first. The next thing is, okay, what can I do now? Now. I don't have the money. The guy has just left me. My wife has just gone. I've just been unemployed. What can I do now? And the first thing is that pause and then take life at the moment. Just go like, okay, let me sit and relax. It's a difficult thing to do. That's why I preamble with don't kill yourself.
Okay.
Because once you can get to that point in your mind, once you can make up your mind that there is hope, then you can at least start relaxing. Because it is until you have relaxed before you can actually take action. So once you can, okay, relax. Because what usually happens is, once change occurs, okay, the next thing is you want to take a drastic action quickly. And 99% of the time, that drastic action goes negative. Unless it's a life-threatening issue, like your car is suddenly going to bump into something, and then that one you can just break up or just turn. But in the normal situations where, okay, the guy just leaves you, you are at home, and then she just gives you a call and goes like, let's break up. Or you are just then to your boss, you go to work in the morning, you know that, okay, by evening you close, you go, and then suddenly your boss comes to your office and goes like, I'm sorry, I have to let you go today. Usually the next thing is, insult my boss, or why is he leaving me, or something. So like I said, once you can say, okay, hold on, second, you can relax. Once you can relax, you can start thinking. Okay, so we say that stop, hold it, relax, and then start thinking, what can I do now? And one of the best things we recommend is, the moment you hold out, you start relaxing, just move away from the place. Just move from the situation, whatever it is. And when we say move from the situation, we are not talking physically alone, we are talking mentally also. Okay, this just happened. For a moment, take your mind off the issue and put it on something positive that you can use to hold yourself on.
Okay.
Well, generally, how should one look at life? Because I imagine that if you have a pretty good or pleasant disposition towards life, then you'll be able to handle whatever is thrown at you in stride. You know, so if you have a pretty good disposition about life in general, definitely the curveballs will come. But then if you're positive and all of that, I would imagine that would help you to deal with whatever situation comes your way.
Actually, when you have a general disposition to life and change comes abruptly, for those people, that is when it's most devastating. Because you are used to the normal, okay. And so you notice that e.g., somebody who is a novice or a novice and enters into a relationship has nothing about breakups, has never experienced it. When it comes the first time, and especially, I mean, it's like you can just go like haywire. Okay, but if you've experienced it over time, or you are
Like
used to
some
it,
of us.
Like you're like, oh, okay, then you just adjust it up your shoulder. Next.
yeah, you know, so then, then you can adjust. Okay, so contrary to the thoughts, those who usually have it smooth find it difficult handling change when it comes. But those who usually have had bumps.
So are you saying that you should look at life like anything can happen?
Look at life like what has been designed for us. It's a day and night. That's something people don't think about because it's so common to us. We think it is normal. The day is made up of day and night.
What does that signify?
It means there is the time when everything is going fine and you have light, and then there's a time when the major light in your life is going off, and you have to rely on another light, which is the
But does
moonlight.
nighttime necessarily mean bad?
No, but it's just that something has changed. It means that
Okay,
what
so
you were
change,
looking-
basically.
change. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you just have to condition your mind that change can happen at any
change
time.
happens. It's a constant thing in life.
Okay, you just made a good point of night. You should need to rely on another light. But in Ghana, ECG is also. No, I'm actually.
So it can even be nighttime during the day.
I'm trying to actually be serious. I mean, because I'm right now. What I'm thinking about is, a situation where I heard recently of a woman whose husband has left her with 3 kids, got up, packed up, and gone to another woman, and she has 3 kids. He's financially not supporting them, and this is the cases you hear, even if you're a man, and they're watching you, thinking, well, okay, it's easier for you to say, you know, you can say it, but I'm sitting here, I don't know what to do, I don't know, I'm not getting much help, and it's the easiest thing where you go inwards. It's easy to feel sorry for yourself. In that situation where she feels like I can't just step back and look at this situation because mentally I don't even have the capacity. I'm thinking of other ways of help. Is it good for you to seek out other people? Or is it good? You know, some people don't want anyone to know, I have problems. Is it good to seek out somebody else to share your problem?
Yeah.
Shared is a problem
problem
solved.
solved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, there are 3 things when it comes to handling change when it is drastic or whatever happens. It's either your values will keep you, or the social support you have, or the spiritual basis. Okay. And that is critical because in Africa, where we believe in God totally, and you don't teach a child who God is, it has been one of the core things that have held us on. Comparatively, because in everything that happens, we have this idea that there is somebody in charge of it. So these 3 core things are the things that usually hold a person when you go through drastic change. Your social
People around
you. And then again, that is something crucial we have in Africa that we seem to be killing in the terms of the extension of the family. Okay, now that we are focusing so much on me, my wife, and my children, you know, when change happens, when the man leaves you,
Your mother's there, your auntie's there, your uncle's there.
You're saying we should move more towards the extended family.
It's actually been the thing. It's been the thing that has kept us one way or the other. That when shock comes, you can play it out over a broad
Your
spectrum of
community.
people. You can talk to your mother, you can talk to your father, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to the people who are around you. But when you close yourself in the access point of social interaction, then when that drastic change comes, it's difficult to let it out. You see, because you can't bury it and carry it all into yourself. So like I said, 3 things: the social circle you have, your values, and then the spiritual ambience that you have. These are the 3 things you do. So usually for most people, you observe that they first turn maybe to their spiritual source. So when something happens, they call their pastor, or they call their
Or
imam,
pray, or just pray
or they'll
themselves.
turn on to somebody and like, oh my gosh. Okay, then when that happens, then once you can connect to somebody else, then at least there's a stability ground for you from which you can work on.
All right, so we will be opening the phone lines any moment from now. If you have any experiences or any stories that you'd like to share with us, please kindly do dial the numbers on the screen right now and then share your stories with us. Okay, so does your financial situation help in times like these? If maybe you have a bit of money in the bank, or you're a bit well-to-do, you think it will cushion some of the blows that are
But you
thrown
can
at
go
you
on
in times
holiday,
like
maybe.
exactly.
Yeah.
You could buy a new pair of shoes and all the problems are forgotten.
It depends on the type of change. If it's a change that is intangible, that money can't buy, you can have 20,000.
There are a lot of things that money can buy. If you
A lot
ask
of
me.
it, actually. Actually, the
I
most,
think
the most valuable things in life, we all know money can't buy. It can buy you access to get into them, but money can actually buy the e.g. health. It can buy you the hospital and stuff and everything. But the reality of the health is that money can't really buy
Most
it.
people
It
just
can
want good
aid
health.
you, to it. So, depending on the type of change that occurs, money may or may not be. If you lose a loved one, what can money
the
do?
money, no. Like
No.
if Amma should lose her boyfriend, there's no amount of money you can give her now.
You see, in a moment like that, the best thing may be a hug.
Yeah.
Just a hug. which
But
you
even the
can
hug she
buy
may be expecting from.
from
The person, of course.
But
Okay,
it's,
so we've been hitting a lot about the negative aspects of change. What about the positive sides as well? I mean, maybe you're not too well to do and then all of a sudden you win the lottery and you come into a lot of money, or just changes that are positive. How do we deal with those ones as well?
One of the first things that happen when it comes to changes, with positive changes, is that it actually tests your character. Again, that's why you notice that I mentioned three things: your value, your spiritual, and your social. The value then comes in here. It's been said that you really see people not when they are poor, but when they are moved up, when
Well,
they get
that's true.
positive stuff.
Okay.
That's when you see whether they are proud, they're arrogant, they do not respecting stuff and everything. So for most positive changes that occur, one of the things that you can do to adjust to it is recognize you are human. Because positive changes make you think you are non-human. And depending on your value system, you think it is all by you and as a result of your action. And that can just take you up there. In the next moment, you see yourself spiraling down again. So the first thing is recognize that you are human. If you get a promotion, recognize you are human.
Yes,
That
that's
would
another
go-
very good change that can occur.
If you get a promotion, if you enter into a new relationship, recognize that you're human. That will mean that you not expect from your partner what he or she cannot give you.
Please elaborate more on that.
If you recognize that you're human, if you enter into a new relationship, I'm taking a new relationship as something positive.
Right.
Okay, recognize that you're human, then you not expect from your partner what he or she cannot give you. Because you're not going to give your partner everything because you're human. So you know what that does? It makes that new change more stable rather than negative. So you
So we should lower our expectations, kind of.
not lower them, balance it. Okay, balance it when you move into a positive new change. Balance it. Because like I stated earlier, positive new changes, promotions, new relationships, location change, etc. usually in the first instance make you forget.
You feel a bit elevated,
Elevated, so
cloud nine and all
and
of
then
that.
you're just like up there and you think that you are the infant now. And most people who get up there with positive change and are not able to manage it or balance it with respect to their character development usually fall back quickly. Either they fall back quickly or they get external stuff to adjust into holding there. But at the long run, anything that is a facade breaks up. So we are saying that when you get into positive promotions, new changes, hold it, balance it. Don't let it get over into your head. Okay, and then also share it with people. Okay, that's something also that we notice happens when people change and they become good, then they start relegating themselves again.
Recoiling.
Recalling, okay, I can no longer work with her. But she was working with you. And you see, that's where comes the idea of being human. If you realize that you are human, even if you have 10,000 cities, you still have your phone. You still respect your mother, you still respect your father, and you still respect your boss, or even the subordinates that now you are over them. But the moment you stop that line of thinking and you start seeing yourself, suddenly everybody else becomes something else. So that is the most crucial point when it comes to positive change. Because naturally there's usually no negative attachments to positive change, except maybe if it is specific to a job. And like suddenly you are promoted to the manager's list, and that means you have less time at home. Maybe if it's a traveling job, you'll be traveling up and down, so that may relegate the time you spend with your family or with your friends and stuff and everything. So those are some of the maybe little negatives with positive changes. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, looking at it, when you think about most situations, if I was being stereotypical, I would say that, well, I think most is women that are more emotional. So you would assume that more, if a woman goes through something drastic in their life, they're more likely to snap. But is that wrong for me to be that stereotypical? Do men also, deal with the situations just as emotionally, or men and women were just wired different?
We are not wired differently. This is the reason why we are all humans. What the difference is the expressions of what is within. Okay, so I would express an emotional pressure by blowing it.
Okay, that's the male
You see,
way.
that's the male way. The woman will maybe just talk it out or do something else. Okay, so basically.
Okay, before you go on, so sorry to cut you off. We have our first caller before we lose her. Let's speak with Ivy from Teshinungwa, I believe. Good morning, Ivy.
Hello, good morning.
How are you this morning?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, please go ahead.
For me, I want to talk about relationships.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, there's this guy that I'm dating, but he's not really paying attention to me. Yeah. So right now, my life is not really adjust. So when I get my male friends who cheer me up, I try to like feel comfortable with them. So I want to just know from the gentleman there, how can I adjust this very life I'm in right now?
Okay, Ivy, thank you so much for your call this morning.
Did you get it very well?
Yes, she's just met a guy. She's talking about relationship, and she's really into him, but it's not being reciprocated as much. So she's not in a good place. Basically, that's what Ivy's saying. How does she adjust?
Okay, so the guy is not giving her what she's
Exactly.
expecting. Okay, this may look a little drastic. Okay, but I'll just
Feel
give
free.
that. Okay, I'll just give that first, then I'll mellow it a little bit. If I enter a job or an occupation and I realize I'm not getting what I want from that, what do I do?
Leave and find greener pastures.
Find greener pastures. That is if you are bold enough. But if you are
But it's not as easy as
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it's a little
as in,
drastic, but-
easier done as said.
Yeah, but then a relationship like she's talking about is based on a mutual understanding of something. I'm coming to you as a girlfriend, expecting that you be a boyfriend to me. What I wish I could know from her is, as the guy accepted in his mind or stuff
That she's
the
his girlfriend.
because from the way I got the conversation, she's thinking it like that. You know,
But
she's,
he's not
but
necessarily
maybe,
not in the same
maybe. So
space.
if she can clarify that section, if it is so, then sit with the guy if he's reasonable. Talk to him. Okay, I'm entering into this relationship with you, or you are supposed to be my boyfriend. This is what I expect from you. Okay, because something else that happens with relationship is that we have what we call different love languages. Okay, maybe for me, it is not coming to my house to visit me 20 times. It is not calling me. It is just sending me a note at work. That's
Wow.
enough for me.
This is the first I'm hearing about these different
There's
types of
there's a book.
languages.
There's a
Yeah.
book. Actually, very
Really?
famous book.
I need to read that.
Different five love
So I
languages.
may be speaking a language that you're not necessarily
So-
speaking.
So if as we are talking, if I start going
That's
like,
good. This book could
And
really help
men and
me.
women have different love
Love
languages.
languages.
I need this book.
In
You
fact,
know.
we have to get it for Sandra.
so
Okay.
I would want to find out from Ivy that okay, I don't know. Like I said, first of all, there must be an understanding that you're in a relationship.
Are they on the same page?
Are they on the same page? If they are asking that, okay, this is what my expectations are in a relationship, this, that.
And if they are not on the same page?
If they're not on the same page, then you buy a new book.
Well, okay, but then that's
Yes,
another
kid.
thing too. So let's just assume, because we didn't get everything, assume that this is pretty much all in her head. The guy probably doesn't even know she
Yeah.
exists. So when a lot of times too, what part of reality? Because some people will, in their mind, will see Sandra on TV every day, and I love Sandra. But I tweet at Sandra. Sandra doesn't mind me, but in their mind,
Yeah.
I want to be with Sandra. She
Yeah.
has a lot of those. Yeah. So in that sense, when do you have to wake up and be like, well, you know what, this guy probably doesn't even know I exist. So, because sometimes too, in your own mind, we want to create that, yeah, well, things should be this way. So when it's not, we still don't want to face reality. So when do you snap out
Wake
of it?
up.
Yeah.
Once again, it depends. It depends on like if my work, or I'll give you a scenario, my job expects me to be at work at 10 a.m. Naturally, I may wake up at 8 or 7. If yours expect you to be here at 7, wake up at 6:30 or stuff. So
Hey, no, way earlier.
We wake up at
It's
4.
simply
Yeah,
because of the
4.
traffic, So like we are complex beings, and there is no one size fits all when it comes to when do you move. Somebody may stick in for like 7 years before reality hits. And in case using again the relationship scenarios, you find ladies who be in a relationship, they know that it is not working, it is not practical, and they'll be in for like 7-6 years before they work
Or
out.
they hit
Okay, but one of the things we should do is that the moment you enter into any venture, be it personal, external, psychological, physical, etc., the moment you enter into it, study the rudiments of the venture. okay, and understand what the situations are.
Okay, we have another caller, Nana Kwesi from Kumasi is on the line. Good morning, I'm Nana Kwesi. How are you?
Good morning, I'm fine.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Please, what would you like to share?
It's an interesting topic anyway.
Thank you.
And what I would like to say is that change is the only permanent thing in this physical world.
It's true.
And no matter what, it will come. It all depends upon how you handle it.
Okay.
To me, there's nothing like positive or negative. It depends upon you, the individual, how you handle it.
All right.
This is my contribution.
Let me ask you, have you ever had any sort of personal experience where it's really like just hit you? Like, and how did you deal with that?
Pardon? Come again.
Have you ever had any sort of life-changing event that's really affected you, like good or bad, and how did you deal through that?
Okay, I will not take it as good or bad.
Mm-hmm. You just get through it. Okay.
I wouldn't target positive or negative. Okay. Yes, because it will come no matter what. And the moment you are able to handle it, as your strength can sustain you, take it like that.
Okay.
Because you don't know what is coming next. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Okay,
what do you make of that? That's quite interesting.
He doesn't want to look at it as negative.
Exactly.
It's life.
Is that a good way to look at life?
I think that is one way we used to, for some people, we use it to manage change. The fact that it may be possible.
I think that goes back to what we were saying earlier about having an open mind about life, not really seeing it as being too positive or too negative, so that whatever hits you, you're able to deal with.
Irrespective, let's be frank, there is no human being that will not be affected one way or the other by what happens. The challenge is when either you don't expect it to happen or you are not. I think what we call open-mindedness is just accepting life. You see, and that is what many of us fail to do and we find difficult to do. I don't know whether we are not primed to accept the fact that life changes. And like I said, the most common one is the fact that there is day and night. So you, after 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, suddenly you change. Either you change your dress, you change the way you talk, you change what you eat, etc. and everything. And it happens so consistently in our lives that we think it is not normal. In the sense that change is so normal, we think it's not normal. You know, when we are born, we change. We are born not working, but somehow we have to adjust and start working. We are born not talking, we have to adjust. But the question is when it comes to our expectations, and that's where the negative and the positive comes. When it comes to our expectation, that's where we want to have a permanence. I want to be sure that if I come home every day, I'll see you.
Okay.
I want to be sure that if I come to work every day, my boss will pay me. So the day my boss says I'm paying me. So it's usually
the expectations that we need to manage. All right, let's travel quite a way to Takwa, all the way to speak with Lydia. Good morning, Lydia.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm fine.
Okay, please go ahead and share your story with us.
Okay. I want to talk about my own personal life-changing experience.
Okay.
I'm fine. Oh, okay, what happened was I was married. I was married to a man who is a well-to-do person, a miner, and then he asked me to stop working. Then I stopped working and I was depending on him. He was providing food, everything. Then all of a sudden the gold price changed. He was out of job. And life became very difficult for us. We couldn't have food to eat, not even food to take care of the kids. I have 3 kids, and at a point I felt like killing myself. But I have friends who kept on talking to me. And so I want to ask, in this way, how can I come out of this tight corner that I find myself into at this moment?
Thank you very much for sharing this morning, Lydia. I mean, it's quite a sad one, but it's the reality of what we're facing. This is quite,
she said something that excited me. She was working before.
Yes, her husband asked her to stop.
Okay, so you know what that means? There's hope here. That means there's a possibility
of her going back. She has a trade or profession that she can
but what she has to deal with first, and I think she said in talking in the fact that her friends are talking to her, she has to manage the change for now. Okay, I think she's realized the situation, and that's one of the things. You realize it, accept it, grieve if you have to. So what I'll say is,
how long do you grieve for?
Once again, it depends. you know, ours for her may be different. Maybe talking to a friend she loves. It may be going to the church. It may be going to pubs. For some people, they grieve behind the bottle, though it's not that right.
Advice.
So,
We don't advise
yeah, we
on
don't
that
advise
as
that,
well.
yeah, at all. You know, so grieve as much as you can positively. Okay, when she's done with that, okay, then accept the situation. Okay, that he's not there. I have 3 kids. What next must I do? Then start asking for help.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to the phone lines, and we have a call from Bolga. Peacemaker. Good morning, Peacemaker.
Morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful. What would you like to share?
First of all, I like the way you Somali. Please, I would like to share with man this thing. Like, I have a man that I've got married to. He says, and I said, their wife I'm involved here. And in a relationship, like, whenever you start it, the way it is always different from when you get married, especially when children come in. Then all the time you see that the men when they go out, they see another lady, and then they start. Me, I just feel like the way we used to do, like when you go to realize that your man has taken another lady, then you feel like your man is doing the same thing he was doing with you before. So now we have 2 children, but I'm not just comfortable with the marriage because, like, when I go there first, when we got married, when I come there, like, I don't see anything right now. I just see a lot of changes. And I don't know how to feel anymore, but even though I love my children and I love him and I know he still does it. But I just know that because of he having another relationship with other women, like, I'm not just comfortable with the marriage.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. It's a difficult situation.
Yeah, that's a very sad situation. Being a guy, let me speak from that angle. I think it is not fair for a man to move from the woman he has to another woman. It's not fair. It's below the belt. Okay, especially when there's a commitment that you've made to that person. It's almost like a contract. Okay, but the more valuable.
I don't know what planet you live on, but this is like the reality.
So common in this country.
This is so.
It's
unfair.
It's
But
not
it's
the
not
reality.
every day.
Unfair just seems to me like, I don't know. But
No, it's not the reality.
It's common.
It's not that common.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you watch our show at all?
Wait. Let me give you a scenario. If you,
the way, no, do you know what?
doesn't
The way
watch
he
you
just
there.
said it's so unfair. Like it's just
the first
something that
time it
happens, randomly.
no,
This
it's
is a
not.
serious issue, infidelity.
No. There are people who are very faithful.
Oh yes, of course, without a doubt.
Good. So once again, the reason why I said it is not so common, depending on the circle you work with them. In the virtually most of my colleagues and my friends that I work with, when it comes to faithfulness pertaining to partnership and stuff, relationships,
In
it's
fact,
like,
announcement.
maybe you
let's
haven't
go.
heard.
If you see this man, if your woman, find him and his friends. You should be married or dating them.
One of them.
no, but that's the truth. Okay, I was giving a friend a scenario sometime. We're looking at the development of a certain project, and it was like, let's develop it for people for a certain class of phones. And I was like, the people you work with all use the type of phone you're talking about. But the moment you move from the circus and you realize that there's a whole group of people who use different types of phones, that's why I mean that it will not be common in reality. Reality is based on your situation most of the time. Okay, so back to the situation. What has happened here is that the man married the woman when she was single, without a child, in quotes. That was the situation. Now there's a child or there are children.
2 children.
Change has come, but he's not ready to accept the change. And that's the problem. When we are not ready to accept the change, like I said, the first thing we do is we turn back or we go back or we take a drastic decision. So what he's doing indirectly is going back to what he had first.
By having other women
No,
elsewhere.
So are we saying
Single.
the minute children come into a marriage, then that's an
No, I'm telling you
excuse
what
where
has
We're
you
gonna
happened.
have to hold that
hold
on
that
phone
thought.
line, so
Okay.
we'll come back to
We'll
that.
come back to you. We've got David from Ashaman. Okay, David, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
All right, how's Tema this morning?
Yes,
Ashaman.
I just want to add. I just want to contribute on your program. First of all, like the gentleman, we used to go to school the same at SAS.
Okay, it's an old friend there.
Yes, he was my senior. So. Anyway, what I would like to say is with what he was just saying, I believe, as a matter of fact, that when there's infidelity in the marriage, most often than not, I see it from the side of the woman, and this is my point. When the gentleman or the husband leaves the woman, he goes for another woman. I think every guy wants to see the woman change. So when I come home, I married the lady. She was fine. She's everything. And when I get married to her, then she changes and becomes something else, or she's stuck, or she's not changing at all to the times. Whilst me, then when I go out and I see different faces, different shapes all the time. So I expect my woman to change, just like food. You can cook food for me. It can be jollof. My wife will cook it. It is good. But once in a while, I would like to eat out. So once in a while, I would like to come home and meet my wife with different, you understand me? So that's what I want to say.
Okay, but I totally understand, because I mean,
you don't want to eat
my
banku every
friend
day.
says, but, or you don't want to eat rice every day. I would say, even if you're eating rice every day, you can have it in different varieties.
Fried
I want
rice,
more jollof,
jollof.
fried rice, amutuo. So that's not an excuse. But does that mean then, if you say your wife has changed or she's not changing, is that an excuse to go out? I think that's always the issue. Is it the excuse,
I think
or you should deal with your issues?
That was the point you were also making before the phone came in.
That okay, you married your wife single and she did not have a child. That was what you got used to. Now change has occurred. Rather than accepting the change, adapting to the change.
You want to go back to
what you used to be. Eating out, takeaway.
It's actually, you know what it is? Actually, you want to go back to what you used to have. And that's the problem with us. Not generally men. It's change. We are used to going here every day. And then the moment it changes, because we've been attached to it, we are creatures of habits. Though change is constant. Because we are used to this habit, it's difficult to revert to the new one. And many of us don't like going through the pain of the change and the fact that it affects us one way or the other. So rather than go through the discipline of the change and adjust and mature with it, we prefer to go to the easier one which we used to have.
So you go back out and look for the single life that
shape and everything. But there's something.
Then why get married?
No, Thank you.
Then stay single and don't get married. Have your fun until when you're ready. Then you settle.
They will never be ready from what you're saying.
I have to take our last call before we continue. We have Kwesi from Kumasi on the line. Good morning, Kwesi.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Wonderful. Please, what would you like to share?
Well, there are a situation at hand. There's this girl I really like. She's a special person to me. We told each other we love each other. We made promises to each other. And eventually, she brought up a very reasonable idea why we should break up. Very reasonable. But it's easy for me to let her go. It's very difficult for me to let her go. Sorry, I must say. Very difficult. I'm finding it very tough time handling it. Very tough time. It's not been easy for me, but I know one day I'll
You said a reasonable reason to break up. So you agree with the breakup?
Just that he's finding it difficult.
I agree with it, but I'm refusing to accept the change. That's my problem right now.
All right,
my heart breaks for you, Kwesi, right now. That is so sad.
All right,
it's interesting. I had a similar situation.
You went through a heartbreak?
Yeah.
Oh. We've all been there, I guess.
It was devastating.
Some more than others.
But it is worse off if it is reasonable.
Exactly, because you know it's a valid reason.
It is a valid reason,
but moving away,
so it is difficult.
Do you know what I like about him is he actually recognizes the fact that, okay, I'm having a difficult time, and he's actually seeking help. I do feel like the mere fact that he's even able to come on the line means that I think you're going to be okay. And I'm sure if there's any girls in Kumasi,
we'll be praying for you. Amma, do you know any single girls?
In fact, I hope you're not just no. Let him know. I think I think you're right. But the fact that he's willing, because a lot of people would really keep it inside and internalize. So you're having a difficult time, but then, as somebody said, difficult times do not last forever. They always pass. Okay. And I don't know if you have faith in God or families or just stay strong. I think that's the most important
thing. How should he deal with it?
And you've been there too.
Yeah, one of the first things is, once he realizes that it's reasonable, you should just go through the phase of not accepting it for now.
It's allowed.
It's allowed.
It's allowed.
It's allowed.
So that's a grieving period.
Yeah, it's a grieving period. So not accepting it is allowed. After a point, then human nature will naturally tell you that
it's time.
But one of the ways, whilst he's going through that it's allowed, he has to get a good friend. I hope he has a good friend.
Good friends.
Good friends or whatever, the social support, because that is usually the breaking or the making point. People suffer alone, which is very sad. So if he has a good friend, he keep talking to the guy. My best friend was like a source of trigger to me those periods. It was basically, he was the one making helping me like this. And then also, you shouldn't get stuck in the same routine you used to with the girl. Okay, it may be difficult. Like I said, there's a grieving acceptance. It may be difficult. If you used to call her 12 times and you had your phone, now, as much as
Call her
possible, maybe
twice.
not even no.
Don't call her.
Oh, try and push the phone away.
She's not there.
You see, it will be difficult, but no change is easy. Even positive change, what we call like
Of
promotion,
course.
it comes with. So I'd say that you should accept the fact that you will not accept it now. You should get like social support from his friend, another person, etc. But he shouldn't do this. He shouldn't rebound. Because
Oh, don't just go and get another girl.
Yeah,
Because you
will
could.
just mess it up. And it needs time. Time heals, irrespective of what. You may not forget, but time heals. It tapers down
like that.
the
Time
effect.
heals. So.
Yeah, it tapers down the effect of the blow over time. So once he acknowledges that, he has to accept that he will not accept it now. That is hope. So what
That
it
is the
does is,
first step.
what does that is it gives him hope not to take drastic measures. Once he knows that what he's going through is normal. So after a while, naturally, he start seeing to himself that he can move on, he wants to move on. But he should get that support. I don't know, I just feel that one of the things he should do right now, if he doesn't know it, is get a support. And what the support will do is the support will start giving him something to turn from. But not negative stuff. That's why I said it as a good friend.
And the support has to be positive people as well.
Yeah,
you know, some support they'll just come and say, oh,
Get
Get
this
over
girl,
it.
this girl.
Yeah.
Let me
this
give you
guy,
another
this-
girl.
You know, so it has to be
It has to be
positive.
positive, So then the
Alright.
support will say, rather than, okay, do this to the girl or do this with another girl, let me take you out and let's go have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Like this.
Joseph, we're out of time on this rather interesting topic. Thank you very much. And it's a big thank you to Joseph Nano from the Heart Group, and he's a director and also consultant as well. All right, I hope you enjoyed that segment, and I've learned a lot. I hope you've learned a lot as well. Remember, as we said in life, the one constant thing is change. So let's all try to get through it in a good way. All right, we have more coming up on New Day. Make sure you don't go anywhere.